Buffalo Bills beat the New York Jets 23-20 on Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers came close to having a 300-yard passing game. He has not had one now in 28 or 29 games. I will say a good 50, 60 yards of that did come on a Hail Mary. Rodgers finished the game with 2 touchdowns and an interception. All the points count, and Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, can make Hail Marys look more like regular throws than any quarterback in the history of the NFL. So while we can say take away the Hail Mary and Rodgers comes down to 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, doesn't look like a great game necessarily, he still does get credit for the Hail Mary. Now, do the numbers and does that play and its impact on the final score make the game seem a little closer than it probably was? Yes. Going into halftime, this should have been Buffalo 20, New York 10. And if that's what had happened, I think the second half does look a lot different. Now, based on the second half, you would look at this and say, this is not only a close game, this is maybe a game the Jets deserve to win. They missed a couple of field goals. There were penalties all over the place. New York had an opportunity. And in the NFL and professional sports as well, a lot of people love to criticize the best players and the best teams whenever they get calls or luck breaks in their favor. Those teams and those players are so good because they capitalize on them. When you're Aaron Rodgers and a Jets team that really needs a win, and you drive down the field and you miss 2 field goals, and you've got Josh Allen on the other side, you are saying, hey, it's now your turn to go win the game. So in that final drive for Buffalo, where it's 3rd down, and maybe it looks like the Jets are going to have the opportunity to field a punt, and they're probably going to, the Bills were like on their own 20-yard line or so. You're going to get it in good field position, 2 minutes to go win the game. You give Josh Allen the opportunity to go win the game. You give Josh Allen the opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to run this fake screen, pump, tuck, bust out to the left side, 1st down. You've got no more timeouts and this game is over. And that's ultimately what happened. Now, the Bills, I still have a lot of concerns about this team. I want to say that because the Bills rose in Super Bowl odds after this game. They were outside of the top 5 for the first time all season after last week or 2 weeks ago's results. They climbed back into the top 5 here, currently plus 1,000 at FanDuel Sportsbook. I don't think they're the 5th best team in football. And it has nothing to do with what they should be or the average of their performances. It has to do with the style in which they're approaching games. I think limits, if not eliminates, their ability to beat contending teams. Now, why do I say that? Let's go look at the Jets results this season, the Bills results this season, rather. You beat the Cardinals 34-28 in week 1. You beat the Dolphins 31-10, beat the Jaguars 47-10. You lose to the Ravens in a blowout. You lose to the Texans 23-20. Josh Allen completes 30% of his passes. And then you beat the Jets by 3. So let's trim that down. You have beaten the Cardinals, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, and the Jets. You've lost to the Ravens and the Texans. Is it expected to lose to the best teams in the league? Yeah. I mean, that's why some teams are favored and some are underdogs. But again, if we go back to expectations and we can loop the Devontae Adams trade into this, if the Jets expect to be the champions of the AFC East, if they expect to go on a run in the playoffs, and when they signed Aaron Rodgers, they did it expecting a Super Bowl. They have beaten 4 non-contenders, and they have lost to 2 contenders. In those 2 losses, they were annihilated in one of them, 35-10, and in the other, Josh Allen had one of the worst games of his career, one of the most inefficient games in the history of football. I believe the system and the style the Bills are playing, which is very run-heavy, first of all, it doesn't maximize Josh Allen's talent, and second of all, it limits your ability to win these big games. Josh Allen is a walking turnover risk, and everybody knows that. That's why it's so remarkable that he has not thrown an interception this entire season in 6 games. It's crazy. He's one of the only guys in the league who's done that. That being said, he's only 19th in passing yards, and he has not had a bye week yet, unlike some of these other quarterbacks. So he is lower in yards per game. When you have a guy with his ability, just look at some of the plays he makes when he rolls out of the pocket to the right and he gets the free play and he bombs it down the field to the running back. Yes, those plays are high risk and they will create turnovers. But as long as he's not turning it over 3 or 4 times in a game, if he can keep it to 1 turnover and you're going to get the explosive Josh Allen who gives you 3 to 4 touchdowns, that's better than holding him to 1 touchdown, no turnovers. Again, some of these results might change. You might run into the Jaguars and you might lose a game, but you also might beat the Ravens instead of falling 35-10. I understand this also comes back to some of their personnel depth issues, just to put it politely. The defense has been doing its part. Sean McDermott seems to always have the defense ready to go. The receiving options, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, they are great. And oh my gosh, as I'm recording this, the Buffalo Bills have just traded for Amari Cooper. This is literally happening in real time. Stay right there. We are going to get the trade package. Cleveland will receive a 2025 third-round pick and a 2020 seventh-round pick from the Buffalo Bills in exchange for Amari Cooper. The Bills will also get a sixth-round pick. Okay, so they gave up a sixth for a seventh and a third for Amari Cooper, essentially. This is great. This is what... This could not have gone better for what I was just talking about. You need somebody like this who has great hands, great footwork, who can control the middle of the field. Maybe not the biggest deep ball threat in the world, but he can get down the field. We knew he wasn't doing anything with the Browns. And while he was dropping some passes, I would be dropping passes if Deshaun Watson threw me the ball too, because I wouldn't want to see anything good happen for him. This is something that puts the Bills over the edge. And you know what? Let me go look at their Super Bowl odds now. Let me see if we've got some movement there as well. Friendly reminder, when the Jets acquired Devontae Adams, it did not impact their Super Bowl odds. The Bills are now up to 4th. They have gone from plus 1,000 to plus 850. You're seeing the move there. This works for what I'm talking about. Don't make Josh Allen a glorified fullback. Let him throw the ball. Don't make him throw it a million miles down the field every time. Again, keep him to 1, maybe 2 interceptions per game, but it's better than the low ceiling you are keeping him at. He's just too talented. You don't want to hold him there. Wow, this is awesome. I'm really excited to see Amari Cooper in a Bills uniform.